troublemakers, the ones who see things differently. While some may see them as the crazy ones, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do.
Well, welcome to our live recording on vision. I realized that we could have started probably one of my greatest mentors. And even though I did not know him personally, I've taken the time to study his life. And I can definitely say that in as much as he probably made the greatest and most profound impact in his industry, there's the beautiful city lights, and you might even hear a boat that docks up behind me. I'm here in a beautiful, beautiful setting because this was my vision. This was my dream at the end of 2015 to leave 2015 in Bermuda, and that's exactly what has happened. Now, when I listen to that particular advertisement, and it's going to come up in a minute, I thought about our theme, and our theme for 2016 is the year of the history maker and innovator. And for the rest of the year, we're going to be hashtagging hashtag make history in 2016 or history makers 2016. Again, hashtag History Makers 2016. And you're going to see it hashtag throughout the year because I want to remind you that you could be a history maker too. These are to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the troublemakers, because basically that's what they call a history maker. Someone who refuses to embrace the status quo, and those who are fond of breaking rules, not only breaking, but making new rules. I call them not only the crazy ones and misfits and rebels, I call them history makers. Those are the individuals who not only predict the future, they actually mold it. Now, most companies and people, for that matter, will never ever have a great success. They'll never really make that much history. There are amongst what I call the clutter of the common. They will never have the kind of success that Steve Jobs did because they are too cautious and they don't want to take the risk that is required to become a history maker. If you are going to make history in 2016 and beyond, you've got to be prepared to take risks. Not just any risk, calculated risk. And this is why tonight is going to be so vitally important for all of us, because I'm going to challenge you to begin to write a dynamic vision for your life. Now, let me just backtrack for a minute. If you are going to be a history maker, you're going to have to be a risk taker. Risk takers are men and women of faith who are not afraid to go out on a limb. I'm reminded of Jesus, who invited Peter to take the risk to walk on water. And although he eventually began to sink, he was not afraid to take the risk. Risk takers are water walkers. They leave the shore of comfort and the realms of the familiar, and they begin to navigate the sea of unlimited possibility. They cast their nets on the other side. The world was built on people who took risks. They were pioneers. They were individuals that were not afraid of the wilderness. They were scientists who were not afraid of being ridiculed. They were thought leaders who were not afraid of progress. They were politicians who were not afraid to challenge the status quo. They were slaves who were not afraid of dying. They were youth who were not afraid of asking why or asking why not. They were dreamers who were not afraid to take action. The word risk taking is often seen in personal development or entrepreneurial books or scientific publications. But the American Heritage Dictionary of the English language defines risk as possibility of suffering, harm, or loss. But I found a better one in Wikipedia of all things. It says that risk is the potential of losing something of value. But that did not interest me. What interested me was the other definition of risk taking. They said risk can be defined as the intentional interaction with uncertainty. Risk is a consequence of action taken in spite of uncertainty. Whoa. You might say, okay, well, tell me that there's a possibility of what? If I take a risk, then I might lose something, or it is taking actions in spite of uncertainty. Well, let me challenge you. When you begin to write your vision, I want you to write it against this backdrop. If you are going to establish anything that is new, if you're going to create anything that's new, if you're going to innovate anything that is new, if you're going to make an impact, it's going to take some degree of risk. But we're familiar with it. We take a risk every single day. Every time you go into your car and you drive on the highway, you take a risk of being in an accident. Every time you get in an airplane, you take a risk of that airplane dropping out of the sky. A lot of times we have done it so often that it becomes familiar that we believe that doing something different is always a risk of something that is negative. But what if we take that word and look at the final definition of risk? And I want to throw my 2 sentences in here. The word uncertainty comes to mind over and over again. So uncertainty is a potential, unpredictable, unmeasurable, uncontrollable outcome. So when you take a risk, there is the risk of uncertainty. And uncertainty is a potential, unpredictable, unmeasurable, uncontrollable outcome. In other words, you may not control all the outcome. So what if that outcome is not something negative? What if the outcome is success? What is the outcome is prosperity? What is the outcome is actually happiness? So let me put it all together. What if your risk brings unpredictable, unmeasurable, uncontrollable success, prosperity, and happiness? Would you take the risk then? If you're anything like me, then I would definitely have to say yes. And so we're going to begin to strike at writing a vision for your life from the perspective of 2016, bringing to you unpredictable, unmeasurable, uncontrollable success, prosperity, and happiness. All in favor, shout amen. Now, many people have a want to in their spirit, but they allow fear to immobilize them because they often say, well, what if it doesn't work out? But what if it does work out? What if your vision and dreams could come to pass? You're not going to know until you do it. And how are we going to now mitigate negative risk and increase positive risk? That uncertainty for uncontrollable, unmeasurable, unpredictable success, prosperity, and happiness, something that overwhelms you. How can we write into the equation as we begin to take risks, as we move out in unfamiliar territories, as we go out on a limb? How do we download that kind of success into the equation? And you can do it by writing a vision for your life. Now, my time is short, and I have a lot to talk to you about, and that's the end of my introduction. And I want to go into how to write a vision for your life. Now, there are certain characteristics of a vision and 46 things that I want you to know. I'm not going to go through all of them, but I promise you within the next couple of weeks, we will be able to give you the entire 46. I want to give you just a few characteristics of writing a vision. 46 things you need to know. Tonight, I want to talk to you about 5 of them, and then I'm going to go into the 12 areas that you need to write a vision for your life. Number 1, a vision is a reality yet unborn to time. So when you write a vision, we're not talking about this kind of writing that is just daydreaming, and you're not going to put any thoughts or ideas or action around it. A vision is a reality yet unborn to time. Therefore, gaining a vision for your life is a spiritual discipline. So those of you that are very, very spiritual, and you feel as if writing a vision is less than spiritual, then you have to understand that the spirit realm is the causal realm. And when we talk about you gaining a vision, we're talking about you tapping into literally the mind of God, asking him, what did you have planned for my life? Now, God knows the end from the beginning and everything in between. And so as you're having a conversation, he wants to show you what your future is going to look like. I want to throw a scripture out at you, Genesis 13, 14 to 18. Again, that's Genesis 13, 14 to 18. And the Lord said unto Abraham, after that Lot was separated from him, lift up now your eyes and look from the place where you are, northward, southward, eastward, and westward. So the first thing about a vision is this, that you have to look beyond the present into the future. Visionaries are imagineers. They use their imagination to try to figure out what the end of a year is going to look like, what the end of 2 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. They have the ability to look beyond where they are right now. Writing a vision does not take into consideration the present. One of the things that another one of my mentors, and again, I never had a chance to meet him, but I studied his life, Sir Winston Churchill, he said, history shall be kind to me, for I plan to write it. He said, I'm going to write history. Now, you know, again, when you start writing a vision for your life, you know, it's possible that people can call you arrogant. And if they do call you arrogant, you're going to discover something that is so amazing, is that what normal people call arrogant is really people who have not only the courage, but the faith, not to just to believe that God is instructing them to do something. They have the faith in believing that they actually can do it. And that's what a visionary is. A visionary is a person that has a whole lot of faith in who God wired them to be. God said to him, look from where you are, northward, southward, eastward, and westward. For all the land which thou seest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed forever. And I will make thy seed as the dust of the earth, so that if a man can number the dust of the earth, then shall thy seed also be numbered. Arise, walk through the land in the length of it, the breadth of it, and I will give it to you. You cannot seize what you do not see. If you cannot see yourself living beyond where you are, you will never go where you want to go. You've got to be able to see yourself beyond. So when you write a vision, you're writing it for a future point in time. Not where you are, not where you're coming from. A vision does not consider finances. It uses faith in order to begin to exercise a person's will a person's drive and motivation to bring it to that pass. Number two, a vision is a divine mental commercial of coming attraction. It's not just a picture of what could be. It is not a figment of your imagination. It is not a bucket list. It is not a wish list. Instead, it is God's appeal to you to stir up latent gifts, latent abilities, latent talents, potential that is hidden on the inside of you, that has a time frame in which those gifts, those talents should be actualized. Just imagine today someone showing up and just saying, oh, I have an idea. I'm going to just create, I don't know, a horse and buggy. Well, the time has come and gone for that. And just as the time has come and gone for horse and buggies, now we don't use it for transportation. We use it for recreational purposes. You'll see it on when we have and space. And so God has a time, God has a space, and he has a generation for something to come to pass. Number four, visions are prophetic realities that point to man to the existence of God himself. I mean, we're going to rely on God to bring it to pass anyway, because he's not only the giver of the vision, he is the enabler of the visionary. He's going to enable you. He's going to empower you to bring it to pass. And number five, visions are powerful spiritual motivators. One of the things that Wilson said, he said the power of vision derives from its ability to capture the hearts and minds of an organization's members by setting forth a goal that is both feasible and uplifting. It can reinforce the empowerment that most organizations today seek to promote. It focuses thoughts and actions, providing both the readiness and the aim, as in ready, aim, fire, for strategic and tactical decision making, helping to ensure consistency in decision making. It is the star by which the organization steers itself. Now, if an organization requires a vision, I think every individual in this earth should have a vision. Why? Because a vision is like having a compass that gives a person direction for their lives. It gives a nation direction for its people. It gives an organization direction as well. One of the things that is spoken of in the Bible is, without a vision, people perish. Another translation, they cast off constraints. Any wind blows them anywhere. And most people have lost control of their lives because they don't have a vision for their lives. Gaining a vision for your life is like having an anchor on your boat. It's like having a sail as well as a rudder on your boat. The anchor gives you the ability to cast your anchor down in a sea of opportunities, and it gives you stability. It gives you the direction that you need. It gives you the ability to make the right decision amidst an array of options that are made available to you every single day. Number two, that vision is like having a sail on your boat. Now, if you have a boat, no sail, no rudder, and no anchor, that means you drift wherever the wind blows. You have no control where your boat is going to go. You cannot avoid the rocks in the life. You become a victim of currents, so the currents could keep you adrift for the rest of your life. But when you have a vision, it's like having an anchor. It's like having a sail. The sail, it gives you the ability to navigate or harness the flow of the wind. You cannot control the wind, but you can adjust your sail and use the wind to your benefit. And then finally, it's like having a rudder. A rudder is used to give direction. So when the currents come, you can use the rudder to turn any way that you want so that the ship goes in the direction of your compass. Remember, your vision is your compass. And so it's like your compass. And so if you want to flow with your compass, you're going to need the sail, the rudder, you're going to need the anchor so that you can sail towards a specific goal in a specific time. It's called being able to use the aerodynamics as well as the hydrodynamics. To me, the aerodynamics is like all the ideas that blow in your mind. We are idea generators, and you want to be able to capture the right ideas for your vision. You don't want to just take all the ideas. You want to be able to discipline yourself until you are generating ideas. And incidentally, here's the caveat that I want you to take away with. A lot of people have these huge visions, and then they stop. They stop because they say, well, I don't have any money. Well, I've got to tell you something. If you're starting a business, if you're starting a ministry, if you're starting a nonprofit organization, wherever you're beginning, one of the things that is more important than money is ideas. As long as you can generate ideas, you can generate the capital in order for you to realize your vision and your dream. Now, there's so much more that we want to talk to you about when it comes to vision. I said that I will give you the first 5 points, and I'll have an opportunity to be able to give you more points. So just to recap once again, when it comes to vision. Number 1, a vision is reality yet unborn to time. Number 2, a vision is a divine mental commercial of coming attractions. Number 3, a vision is a heavenly pattern given to man who causes it to become a reality within a specific time, generation, duration, and space. Number 4, visions are prophetic realities that point man to the existence of God himself. And then number 5, visions are powerful spiritual motivators. They motivate individuals, they motivate organizations, they motivate governments, they motivate nations. And so when you're writing a vision for your life, not only is this an activity that every individual should do, this is an activity that should be done if you're a businessman, a businesswoman, if you are in a key position in government, if you are running a vision, if you're running a ministry. All of those things are important. Now, when it comes to writing a vision for your life, there are 12 areas, and this is where we get to the nitty-gritty. 12 areas that you should write a vision in. Usually when we talk about writing a vision, people think that they just write one vision with no nomenclatures. But I want to break your vision down into 12 specific areas. Here are the areas. Number 1, your personal brand. Number 2, companionship and marriage. Number 3, family. Number 4, personal growth and development. Number 5, career and calling. Number 6, your friends, your colleagues. Number 7, your networks. Number 8, your recreation and renewal. Number 9, your spiritual growth and development. Number 10, your financial stability. Number 11, your health and wellness and fitness. And number that, until very recently, the older you get, the more wisdom you have. And I wanted to make sure that I was able to really, this first one has become very important to me, because if I knew what I know now, I would have done a lot of things differently. So because I pulled myself on the shoestrings and bubble gum, I find it really important for me now to give back, to pay it forward. And I want to pay it forward wisdom that I have acquired over the years. Number 1, your personal brand. Your personal brand is important. Number 2, you've got to write a vision for companionship and marriage. Number 3, family. You've got to have a vision for your family, your immediate and your extended. Number 4, for personal growth and development. Number 5, and I hope I'm not talking too fast, your career as well as your calling. And I've mixed that up as number 5, career and calling. Number 6, your friends and your colleagues. Number 7, Your network, your alliances, that's all number 7. Number 8, recreation and renewal. Number 9, spiritual growth and development. Number 10, financial stability. Number 11, health, wellness, and fitness. And number 12, legacy. These are the 12 areas that you need to have a vision. Let me go over this very quickly. Your personal brand. What are your standout characteristics? What is your value added proposition to this world? These are huge questions. What drives you? What are you passionate about? How do you see yourself as a human being? And for this, I want to encourage you to do a SWOT analysis. Now, we usually use SWOT analysis in business. And I decided that if you could use SWOT analysis in business, you could also use SWOT analysis for yourself personally. So you want to look at your strengths. You want to be able to look at your weakness. We also want to look at the opportunities that you have, and then you want to look at your threats. What are the elements in your environment that could cause trouble for you as an individual or business? What are your threats to your personal brand? You know, how people see you. Your brand is your promise. Is the promise that you are making. And I want to know when it comes to that, I want you to sit and meticulously ponder on who you are exclusively. Not the role that you play as mommy, not the role that you play as daddy, not the role that you play as CEO. I'm talking about you. Because in 2016, I'm going to teach you how to sweat the equity in your personal brand. Write that down. We talk about sweating equity in our the equity in our homes. We talk about sweating the equity in our business. You've got to be able to sweat the equity in your brand, and I want to show you how to do it. Number 2, that's number 1. Number 2, and we'll talk a little bit more as we go into 2016 in details with all of these. There's a lot of questions that I want to ask you, a lot of questions that you got to answer. But number 2, you've got to write a vision for your marriage or your companionship. What type of person do you want to and need to grow old with? And a lot of you that are married are probably saying, well, I wish that I asked that question when I was young and when I was in love, but it's never too late. Because most of us have never ever spent time thinking about our marriage, thinking about our older years. But one day we all get older, and you want to ask yourself, am I satisfied with the kinds of activities that I'm involved with now? Is there joy in my life? What do I need from my spouse? Am I getting enough out of my relationship? You know, and then you want to look at what are your non-negotiables in marriage. Do you need affection? Do you need sexual fulfillment, intimate conversation? Do you need more recreation in your companionship? Do you want more honesty and openness? Is physical attractiveness important to you? What about financial support, domestic support, family commitments, respect, admiration? What do you need in your relationship? Again, we're going to take more time one by one going through this to help you to write a dynamic vision for your life. Number 3, let's look at family. And when we talk about family, very few people write a vision for their family life. And if you notice, we broke up your spouse, your companionship from your family. These are 2 different kinds of energy that is needed to be put into either your marriage so that you can keep your marriage dynamic, and then your family life to keep your family life dynamic. This is your immediate family and extended family. I live in the United States of America. The bulk of my family lives in Bermuda. And so I had to figure out, how am I going to keep my relationship healthy with my brothers and sisters? They have families of their own with their nieces and nephews. I happen to be the single one. but with my nieces and nephews, and I found out family is important, and so I wrote a list. Number one, family values. What does my family value? Number two, family traditions. Our family tradition is that we all get together Christmas time and we celebrate everybody's birthday. And this is a family tradition. We've done it since we were young and we carried on with this tradition. You may say, well, we don't have any family tradition. Why don't you start a family tradition? Number three, family religion. What is your family religion? My family religion is Christianity. And all the nieces, all the nephews, all the babies understand that the Trimm family are Christians. We're not any other religion. We're Christians. What you have to have your family religion. What about your family heritage? What is your family heritage? And then your family legacy. I come from a background of entrepreneurs. And my grandfather, my grandmother, my mother was an entrepreneur. Even though I grew up in poverty, my mother always had a small business. She had a cookie business. She made cookies. And then she eventually sold it to the health store. And so I'm just picked, this is a part of my heritage. And that is entrepreneurship and owning our own business. That's a part of our heritage. That's our legacy. And I'm carrying on the heritage and then leaving this as a legacy for the next generation. There's a lot of questions I want to ask you there that's going to help you really put together something that is very dynamic for your family vision. Number four, personal growth and development. How do you nurture your greatness? How can you cultivate yourself? How do you do that? Where do you see yourself 10 years from now? Education-wise, what kind of books do you read? Seminars? Do you have a personal coach? Most of you that are on this line have never thought about a personal coach. You have never thought about a mentor. You've got to be able to identify who your mentors are. I was able to say at the beginning, my mentors are individuals, or some of my mentors were individuals I never got a chance to meet. But what I did, I studied their lives, everything I could read about them to try to analyze what they did, when they did it, what was their morning like, what were their afternoon like, what were their evening like, how did they become a history maker. And then your coach, you know, everyone should have a coach. I've had several coaches. I had exercise coaches, I have business coaches, I had health coaches, and so I found it very valuable to have a coach. We're in the throes of building a school, a refining school, and so I have a brand new coach, and I'm a psychotherapist. I've been out of psychotherapy or practicing psychotherapy for years. And so in as much as I have my master's degree in psychotherapy, I still needed a coach. And so I hired one. I hired one of the best. And so guess what I do? I hired him, I pay him, and I study under him. Last year I did a few courses. The year before I did a few courses. I just finished talking to him. And although he lives in another country, he lives in a foreign country, far away from me, yet I pay him to coach me through so that I can stay sharp in the area of psychotherapy. And so you need a coach. I'm a life strategist. I have about 10 coaches that work with me. And those of you that are interested in securing the coaching, I have one of the best coaching programs in the world. How can I say it? Because I wrote it. And it's the best. It's 52 weeks. And those of you that are interested, you can go online, cindytrimm.com, and find out more. Or even just send us an email at drcindytrimm@trimminternational.com, and I'll be more than happy to send you information. Number 5, you need a vision concerning your career and calling. You know, you've got to deal with the industry that you're in, the career paths that you're going to take, what you need to get from point A to point B. You got to be able to connect the dots. You know, we have to talk about board and what your board looks like and several different things. But writing a vision in the area of your career and calling. You should not just be satisfied with having the same job that you had 15 years ago. You should be in a different place, and you should be able to determine the type of career path that you're going to float on, what that path looks like. Where do you see your ministry, your business, your career in the next 10 years? And you've got to be able to sit down and write a vision in that area. What does your organization look like? What is it going to look like 10 years from now? What is the business model you are actually using? You know, are you artsy? Are you left brain? Are you right brain? Do you have the atmosphere that you can thrive in, that you can grow in? All of this is necessary if you're going to have a dynamic vision. Number 6, your friends and colleagues. This is, you know, the last thing that people think about. What do you need in your personal relationship? Do you need personal integrity? Do you need being able to communicate honestly and openly? You know, who are the people that love you unconditionally? Who can you rely on? Who are your traveling companions? Who sharpens your sword? Who takes your life to the next level? Who challenges you to think at the next level? Who nurtures your greatness? All of this, and you've got to be able to write this down. Now, this is going to be important because when we finish today, I want you to think about your mastermind group. I have a mastermind group. People that I sit down and I throw around ideas. I talk about ideas all day long. What if, what if, what if, what if, what if? You've got to develop your mastermind group. People who don't think exactly like you so that you can have a broader perspective of what you can do and the possibilities that lie ahead of you. Who exactly is in your network? I mean, you know, who are your friends? Who are your colleagues? And in this particular network, I want you to write down specific names of your mentors, your coaches. And I'm hoping that I'm one of your coaches, and I'm hoping that I'm one of your mentors. I hope I'm on all of your lists as mentor and coach. And, you know, who are your business relationships? Your banking, your legal. I mean, does your bankers know you, or do you just go in and you just deposit your money? Or are you online? Does your banker call you? Do they want to take you out for lunch? I mean, these are the things that we want you to really begin to nurture. And we're going to, as the year goes on, we're going to talk to you of how to expand your reach so that you have a good name within your community. You want people to drop your name. Now, we want, and you want the right people dropping your name as well. Now, number 7 is recreation and renewal. You know, how do you nurture yourself emotionally and mentally? What do you do to refuel and refresh? Now, number 8 is spiritual growth and development. How do you plan to be spiritually renewed in 2016? Your prayer time, your place of worship, meditation, your Bible reading. How do you heal the hole in your soul? How do you address the residue from your past? Do you have soul ties? You know, and there are 3 books I want to recommend. 40-Day Soul Fast, Reclaim Your Soul, and The Prosperous Soul. Get those books. It takes you 40 days each. Go through them. That soul tie issue is a big issue. And they could be soul ties that were legitimate for an old season, but they're not good for this new season. So you have an opportunity to be able to address all of your relationships, assess all your relationship, and renegotiate all your relationship. Then number 10 is financial stability. You know, we need to look at your financial planning, your budgeting. What do you want in terms of leaving a financial legacy at the end of your life? You got to deal with, how do you plan to live after retirement? I have a lot of friends that are in retirement, and they're finding out that their money is not stretching as far as they thought it would go. And you got to put a lot of thought into your retirement. And those of you that are already retired, there are ways that you can capitalize on your skills and your ability and your talent. You could start your own business. You can start coaching. There's a lot that you can do. But writing a vision here is important. Your financial stability. Within the next 10 years, I'm believing that all of you will be financially stable. That means 100,000 debt-free dollars in the bank account. And then a few years from there, you can move towards financial independence. But we want to start with something that is attainable, and that is financial stability within the next 10 years. And you can do it. We're talking about $100,000, and you can do it within 10 years. And I'm going to show you how. Number 11. You want to write a vision for health, wealth, wellness, and fitness. And I put it all together. I lumped it all together because your body is the temple of God. Your health is your wealth. And what is you've got to be able to address your nutritional needs. You've got to be able to develop a daily routine. You've got to exercise. And then here's the caveat. You've got to develop a good sleep habit. And this is the one that I have to keep driving myself with, because I'm a night owl. I'm very productive at night, but I found out that I'm doing a disservice to my body by not getting night sleep. So I decided to try to reverse that by getting night sleep and waking up earlier in the morning. And then number 12, legacy. You've got to have a vision that includes your legacy. Again, and just to quote Winston Churchill, history is going to be kind to me because I plan to write it. I am decreeing that 2016 is going to be a powerful year for you. You are going to leave your mark. You're going to make your life count, and you're going to make history. I'm believing that a building will carry your name. You're going to write a classic literary piece. You're going to impact your nation. You're going to leave wealth for another generation. You're going to do something that is so incredible that the world is going to take notice that you are a member of this society. Tonight, I want to encourage you to end the year strong, to be able to write a vision for your life. You want to write a vision for your life. As we recap, you want to write a vision personally for your personal brand. And again, we want to show you how to sweat the equity in your brand, your personal brand. Number 2, companionship and marriage. That's the second area. Number 3, family. That's your immediate and your extended. Number 4, personal growth and development. Number 5, your career, your calling. Number 6, friends and colleagues. Number 7, your networks, your alliances, your partnerships. Number 8, recreation and renewal. You want to make sure that you decompress on a continuous basis. Number 9, your spiritual growth and development. Number 10, financial stability. Number 11, health, wellness, and fitness. And number 12, your legacy. We've given you a mouthful, and we encourage questions. You can text me, tweet me, and those of you that are on Twitter, send me a shout out. Make sure you hashtag History Makers 2016. That's plural, History Makers 2016. We want to make sure that you understand you can rewatch it on YouTube, and it's going to be up for the next 24 hours. So make sure you tweet and let your friends know that writing a vision for your life is going to help you become a history maker. History is going to be kind to each one of us because we're going to write it. Here's to an incredible year. We're ending this year strong, and we're going to start the year stronger. Let's pray. Our Father and our God, I give you praise and honor and glory. I thank you for these history makers, those that have gathered together tonight, and those that will listen throughout the next few days. I pray blessings over their lives. I decree, Father, that they are severing their spirit and their soul from their past, and they're going to start all over again. 2016, a brand new year. Father, I decree that when the 31st of December comes, they will pronounce a benediction on 2015. They will not drag into 2016 anything or anyone that will not undergird them or contribute to the success and prosperity that you have prepared for each one of them. I speak success into the womb of 2016. I decree and declare, Father, their best days lie ahead of them and their worst days are behind them. Let them know, Father, that they have someone that is partnering with them in prayer, that is walking with them, and is their traveling companion. Father, I thank you for the grace that you will give them, the favor that you will give them, the faith that they will walk in. I command the heavens to be open. I decree that you would have an open heaven from this day forth. From this day forth, I decree supernatural supply. I decree sudden breakthroughs. I decree unexpected gifts, unexpected opportunities in your life, in Jesus' name. Have a blessed night. It was an incredible, incredible time to spend this night with you. God bless you in Jesus' name.